I expected an urban fantasy, I got grief, perfection fun family, murder mystery, that was an absolute surprise and a good one, and also emotional devastation. Quick question, do you ever finish a book and think, wow, that emotionally ruined me? But I also kinda love it, because last December didn't come to play. I have read some comfort reads, absolute misses, and a few books that altered my brain chemistry. Welcome to Spellbound Pages, or welcome back, where we talk fantasy, demons, witches, morally questionable love interest, and books that emotionally destroy me for sports. So without waiting any further, let's break it down. This one hurts a little, because on paper, it was supposed to be everything I love, every trope I adore. Vampires, arranged marriage, forced proximity, and sadly somehow it just felt like homework. The thing is, I just never truly connected with the main couple and characters. Especially the FMC, who just kept telling us she is brilliant, smart, intelligent, but just made, again and again, baffling choices. And let's talk about the dialogues between her and the MMC that were boringly repetitive. It was like two people arguing in circles forever about the same exact things, or almost. Miscommunication tropes at its best or worst. Worst for me. I literally hate miscommunication tropes. I don't know about you, but for me it's an ick. And that's too bad, because the world building was getting interesting, and unfortunately we barely got to see it. And maybe it will happen in the next books. Sadly, I have no intention to continue the series, because I finished this book mostly out of spite. Another mess that month. And I promise that the last, because after that we go to the good things. This book has such a strong spooky potential. Curse fae, creepy dolls, and most of all the Nutcracker vibes, which is my absolute favorite Christmas tale. But maybe that's why also it missed the mark for me. But it completely, at one point, they were non-stop into what felt for me cringe-related smut. And the plot that could have been good just felt like it was kept otage by the spice. That was not good for me. And the overall thing wasn't adding any emotional depth. The characters never fully worked for me, and some dynamics just felt forced and oddly uncomfortable at times. It obviously wasn't meant to be cozy. Yes, it was meant to have a lot of spice, and I was more than okay with it. But it wasn't even dark in a satisfying way at the end. All I wanted was magic, some creepy airy story, dark retelling of the Nutcracker, and all I got was sugar plum trauma. Let's move on. This one surprised me so much. It does look like a cozy holiday paranormal romance, and yes it was. But it also actually is about self-worth, people-pleasing, and learning to take up your space. The slow burn worked beautifully, because it was built on tenderness and observation, and that was one of the most amazing Christmas romance I ever read. The magical elements support actually the emotion and the build-up romance, instead of simply overpowering them. And it is definitely one of those books that just linger once the season ends, so if you want to read it now, please do so. This was such a charming holiday read in advent calendar format. The advent calendar part was so adorable, and honestly I had a really hard time not just to continue read all the chapters till the end. The romance felt cozy, playful, and also low stakes in the best way. I adore the gentle fantasy elements and also the soft character dynamics. It is mostly YA and PG except the bonus chapter, but you are warned and you don't have to read it if you don't want spice. It is not a story that is groundbreaking, but it is comforting and festive. It is an absolute perfect December brain candy. This book absolutely destroyed me. I expected an urban fantasy, yes, amazing, because this is Sajimas, right? And I loved Akotar, and I adored one of the most amazing and masterpiece of a fantasy ever, which is Tog. But here I got grief, perfection fun family, rebellion, murder mystery that was an absolute surprise and a good one, and also emotional devastation. Sarah, you cannot hurt us like that. And sure, the world building is a tiny bit overwhelming at first, but all you have to do is to push through, and once it clicks, you're gone. Bryce completely won me over since the first page, to be honest, and the final act of the book was the most satisfying payoff. This was a full body reading experience. I have nothing to add to that. Just read it. I'm not ashamed to say this is one of my go-to reads from last year. Period. It was not planned, but I have finished to reread Akotar, the first book of the series, and finishing this first book reminded me why this series holds so much power, why I loved it so much. Even from the first book, unlike a lot of people. I know it's 50-50, some like the first book, some really don't, and most don't, but I'm not one of those people. I adore this first book. Sorry, not sorry. The slow beginning feels absolutely intentional anyway, especially since I knew what comes later, and Farah's endurance and humanity just hit harder even on a reread. And let's talk about the second part, Under the Mountain. That still hurt a lot. I still cried, even if I knew what was coming. This book doesn't lose any emotional bites, even on the second read. This felt familiar but thoughtful, and this felt mostly familiar because I have seen the show on Netflix a few years ago and I loved it. And honestly, this was so close to it, way much more than Six of Crows, so it was like rewatching the episode for me. And what really works here is how it explores power and identity rather just than destiny. And Alina's discomfort with becoming important felt absolutely realistic. And let's be honest, the Darkling remains still unforgettable and compelling. For all the wrongs and right reason. I'm sorry, I am Team Darkling, I said it. I love him. I wish the villain gets a girl. That's all I'm saying. I know it's gonna end, but I said what I said. And for me, in this book, the romance is more functional than exciting. That's my pove. But thankfully, the atmosphere and the world building carry the book. It is definitely a strong start and foundation book for the Grishaverse. It is not my favorite. I rather like the Six of Crows duology, but of course, that's why I started with it last year. This was a quieter installment, but I definitely loved how emotionally loaded it felt, and Kennedy Sutton do it perfectly. Jane continues to be pure chaos, loyalty, and even bad decisions, in the best of way, of course. This book feels like the calm before the storm, and the ending was so rude that it makes it very clear. I was fully braced for devastation in book 5, which we have here, yes, and this one hurts a lot. To be honest, watching Jane suffer while we as readers know the truth was just emotionally brutal and not sadly my favorite part. But it worked. It was a bit annoying at times though. And Kennedy Sutton writes devotion, endurance incredibly well. The angst was heavy, but the ending still felt earned. I closed this book emotional and a bit anxious, nervous for what's come next, which is perhaps why I'm gonna take a little tiny break of it. This was very much a bridge book. This was slower in places, heavy in tension and secrets, but truthfully I was never bored. Nektos and Sarah's relationship is messy, painful, and deeply compelling, and the emotional payoff makes it 100% worth it. That ending though, rude. Absolutely 100% rude. I'm recovering. This is where the series finally take a turn. Oh, just maybe I love math, and that's all I'm gonna say. I adore him. The series finally clicked entirely for me, and I'm 100% there. I want to know what's next. I want to see math again. The chemistry, the banter, the vulnerability, it all comes finally together, at least for me. And the spice actually served the characters, instead of simply replacing the plot. The world building expands, the found family shine, as always, and I love them. And I was completely hooked from start to finish. It was simply addictive and I want more of them. It's easily, and for now stays, my favorite so far. This one surprised me by how emotionally grounded it was. The fake marriage trope actually forces vulnerability instead of just skipping to insta-lust. The banter is sharp, the chemistry feels earned and real. And let's be honest, since I'm an immersive reader, the narration was phenomenal, chaotic, funny, and genuinely heartfelt. want. Yes, I cried too, and I would read it again. That is my favorite of all the trilogy right now. I said what I said. That's the end for the wrap-up of December. Now let's talk about my hopefuls for January. This one is from the book club I'm in Fable. If you want to join us, that's the name of the book club. This one feels full, unhinged, toucher, and if you know what I mean. Type of energy with a stalker who will falls first and never let go. So I definitely 100% expect obsession, possessiveness, moral regretness, when he make questionable choices, obviously. And also surely a cliffhanger that will absolutely not respect my peace. I'm here for it. Please bring it. And maybe with that, January will be ruined, and that's okay. This is revenge-fueled chaos with a serial unaliver badass FMC and the FBI agent unknowingly hunting her. Sounds amazing to me. It seems brutal, addictive, morally unhinged, and emotionally dangerous. I expect to read this in a feral binge with absolutely zero self-control. Finally, the last one in the trilogy, it was time to finish it. Serial Unalivers, Small Town Nebraska, Forced Proximity, I love that trope, and a nerdy doctor who has absolutely no idea what he's walking into. I bet like the rest of the series, it will be dark, funny, rom-com style, spicy, and yet I expect it to be somehow emotional. A classic Brainweaver crowds, right? Because I bet that if torture is a trope, and then this book is just it, like the trope. And yes, I will finish entirely with the novellas because I see it's available, and this will be the perfect little palate cleanser, you know, to squeeze between my reads. This one is about a twisted family games involving serial unalivers hunting serial unalivers. Nothing new in this. This is like related to the trilogy, right? But obviously do it romantically because Brainweaver. It seems short novella format, obviously. Chaotic, violent, and absolutely sharp, with competitive carnage and morally questionable bonding. I'm all in for it. Like I said, perfect palate cleanser between longer reads. It's I am trying, I swear. I chose this one because with my Bookopoly that you can download for free, literally no mails required, no anything, I picked the Secret Society trope and I needed a Kindle Unlimited read to add to this month. So this was my pick. I have seen so many mixed reviews about this one, so I'm really hoping it will be for me on the scales of I adore it or I really like it. So this is about secret societies, rituals, power games, and very dark romance energy. This absolutely not feel like a comfort read, and I'm fine with that. But it's definitely enter at your own risk type of read, with what seems heavy themes and also toxic dynamics. And yes, I'm a bit scared, but I'm also very curious. I want to make my own opinion about this book, so I will. Of course, another Hellbound hits. What else, honestly? A grumpy demon with memory loss. We have finally a room story. And to be honest, I am so excited and impatient to finally read Belial's story. Please bring it to me. I need Belial's story. Anyway, let's come back to Rome. So, a grumpy demon with memory loss and an angel who's just a sunshine character, but also is on a redemption mission. And obviously, forced proximity in hell. Bring it. This was decided for my grumpy sunshine trope with the Bookopoly, because this feels like enemies or at least 8 to forbidden lovers, and I will eat that up. With obviously humor, heart, and spice. As usual. Also, let me say this, it turns into a crow and like shiny things. And that's sold me. This was not chosen by the Bookopoly. I just see it was out the 1st January and I was like, this is going directly in my to be read in January. I need that. I just need it. I have adored the first book, so the second is mine, and I know now this is the last. This is simply a duology, so I need to know. So this really has the Cruel Prince vibe. So if you really like the Cruel Prince with Jude and Carden, I bet you will really like that, but make it more urban fantasy and less slow burn. That being said, amazing. If you love chronological order, you might want to start with this series first before jumping into Obsidian with this duology. Just saying, because I didn't know when I started with Obsidian, so I would have liked someone to tell me, and I'm telling you. So this one, Diamond Dust, is about a woman, human, thrown into a cruel fire court. Remind you something? With obviously games that equals also survival, but survival seems optional, and on the other hand, entertainment is mandatory. This is a rage-fueled, high-stake romantasy with deadly trial and burn-it-all-down energy, which remind me a lot of Queer Prince, the vibe of it, and I'm all for it. So yes, I'm definitely expecting violence, vengeance, and zero patience for fair innocence. This will be a nice palate cleanser, I know it. Marriage of convenience, small town tension, a broody MMC, and a forced proximity. Fear there is a theme this month, because they will be under one roof. It feels emotional, domestic, and quietly intense. The kind of romance Elsie Seaver just do well that will sneak up on you. And I am so ready to feel soft and take a break after all the dark romance and crime mystery, if you know what I mean. All the thriller vibes. This is the month I will also reread A Court of Mist and Fury, and I am not sorry for it. I am so thrilled about it. And this is purely for emotional damage, but also personal healing, let's be honest. Farah's journey, the Night Court, and most of all the found family vibes of this book. It will just hit different when you know what's coming, but that's fine. I know it will be an absolute hit anyway. And I am absolutely prepared to cry, swoon, jiggles, fall in love with Cassian again first. I'm sorry, not sorry, even if I adore reasons. And definitely highlight half of the book this time. Last but not least, fairy politic, winter magic, and the forbidden romance, straight out of Pixie Hollow. This feels absolutely whimsical, romantic, and quietly devastating in a soft, magical way. This seems like the perfect cozy romance read. To add a more gentle note to my to-be read and hopeful this month, to be honest. If you have read any of this, or even if one of them just jumped into your TBR or hopefuls, I would love for you to let me know in the comments. Because let's be honest, I adore enabling bookish bad decisions, or the best ones, right? And if you have also a January to-be read or hopefuls you are absolutely excited about, maybe your top 3 or top 5, please, I want to hear that too. Tell me, especially if it's unhinged. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with someone you love. And I will see you soon for even more Spellbound Pages magic.